Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined as a member and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And remember to include the name The Scoreless Thriller Podcast in your application. Thank you.
Man there trying to stop Drogba getting himself into further trouble.
Oh, it's not a bad ball for Pele on the right side. It's Carlos Alberto. And what a great goal that was! Carlos Alberto!
Maradona just walked away from Huddle then. Valdano, smokes and Maradona! They're appealing for offside. The ball came back off the foot of Steve Hodge. And Maradona gives Argentina the lead. The England players protesting to the referee.
De halve finale komen. Ik heb opeens zo'n gevoel dat we in de halve finale gaan komen. Met het balbezit voor Frank de Boer. Frank de Boer speelt de bal. Heel goed naar Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp neemt de bal aan. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp. Oh! Frank de Boer speelt de bal naar Dennis Bergkamp. Die neemt de bal feilloos aan. En die schiet de bal erin.
Hello and welcome to a very sweaty edition of the Scoreless Thriller Podcast. I'm joined as always by Leon. Leon, how are you doing?
It's quite hot. Very happy to be here.
And we've got two special guests joining us again. We've got Colwyn back again.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
And Rob, fresh from his excellent performance on his debut last week, is returning again.
Hello, happy to be back.
Woo. So this week on the podcast, we're discussing a game which has gone down in sort of infamy as the Battle of Nuremberg.
The Massacre of Nuremberg.
Yeah, massacre feels a bit more apt than battle. Yes. Which was an extremely sort of brutal game, but also probably the most enjoyable game for us to watch that we've had so far.
Yeah, I was super excited. I loved it. Very dynamic, very physical, all good.
What was the word that you used to describe it when we were watching?
A wild frenzy.
It was like a wild frenzy though, because it was like no sort of let up in the action whatsoever. There was either somebody having a shot, some horrific challenge. It was just constant. It was sort of someone playing like an Xbox game, just constantly forcing at each other. And
Yeah,
stuff.
foul shots, emotions.
Yeah.
So many of them.
Everything
many.
Everything you would want from a World Cup game.
And a good World Cup match. It's true though. I loved it. Yeah.
So to celebrate this week's game being a sort of celebration of brutality,
On how you're pushing it.
on this week we're discussing red cards, and sort of after the break we're gonna jump into the quiz. So the format for this week's quiz is gonna follow the same as last week's, where it's everyone else against me, but now there's three of you. So I feel like after losing last week, you'll do pretty badly if you lose again this week.
Did we lose?
Yeah, you lost.
Oh, true. Yeah,
It was close though.
Yeah,
it was close.
Yeah,
we were good. We were good. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to the last question and you decided, which was all about like massive scores, and then you decided to answer for the number of goals in the second half as 0.
Oh, it was a very strategic pick though. We had our reasons. If you want to know reasons, go back, listen to the last podcast.
It was not.
I feel it was very thought through.
No, but clearly it was not the least logical thought through.
It was the what? It was the least logical.
Yeah, it was almost illogical.
Rob, come on, support me here. It felt very logical at that point.
It's in the past. Let's move on.
Oh, he's got the mind of a footballer, you know.
Yeah.
That game was last week. That quiz was last week.
Pivoting,
This week is
pivoting,
It's
man.
about my performance today.
This week is a new quiz.
Go, we're ready.
All right, so there's 7 questions. How did Maximo Banguera, the goalkeeper for the Ecuadorian team Barcelona Sporting Club, try to escape from a red card in 2015? A. He claimed that one of his teammates had committed the foul. B. He kept running away from the referee. C. He ran to the touchline and tried to substitute himself. Or D. He pretended to be knocked out.
He definitely ran.
I want him to substitute.
He definitely ran.
I also think it would be quite impressive if he tried to blame someone else for the foul, given that he's a goalkeeper, so he's got a completely different shirt.
What's this substituting himself business? I don't really understand how that would work.
Well, I guess you could just run over to the touchline and just sit down, and then the referee.
That's what happened. Is that, are you describing what happened?
No, I'm giving no clues this week. I'm going all in.
Okay, Colin, you make the call.
Oh no!
Substitution or just chicken run?
I think it's more funny. I think it's a more weird one if he tried to substitute himself. I've never seen anyone try.
More weird? That. How is it not weird to run from a red card? That's hilarious. I absolutely love it.
But there used to be,
but like, I don't know, like how much, like how you're defining run. Like if he just tries to like kind of scoot
like
himself
hide
away
behind other players.
But
and
you see that
run away.
That definitely happens a lot. Like people just try and like hope the ref forgets. I think I want to go with he subbed himself.
There was a FIFA game in the 90s, I think, where if you committed a foul, you could just literally run around the pitch and try and stay away from the referee, and then they would not be able to book you.
Yeah, because the game mechanic waited till the
Yeah,
ref
yeah,
got
yeah.
to you. So you just kept moving.
Yeah. They didn't program the referees quick enough, that was the problem.
I don't know. I think it's funny if he tried to substitute himself.
Okay. Here
So
we
you're
go.
going for the substitution?
Log it in.
Okay, I can tell you that you are wrong. The correct answer is that he pretended to be knocked out.
Well, okay.
For how long?
Banguera lay on the ground for 90 seconds, but that didn't stop the referee from brandishing a red card.
It's also such a poor attempt. I mean, what does he think happens? The referee just goes away at one point or what?
Yeah, well, maybe pity.
Oh, okay.
I think you see it like when a player's injured, and the ref is a bit more lenient and like they'd hope that just forget about it.
Yeah, if they get like injured in the foul.
Being knocked out pushes it a bit though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a bit much.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 2.
Sorry, guys.
Why was Ashley Vickers, the Dorchester Town player manager, sent off against Havant and Waterlooville in 2011? A. He kicked the ball against the referee, knocking him over. B. He substituted himself without telling any of the officials.
Again.
C. He wrestled a mankini-clad pitch invader to the ground. Or D. He was given 2 yellow cards, both for time wasting.
Okay.
Well, if you came up with the mankini one, I like it. That's funny.
Yeah, I didn't know if you would get sent
Remember
off
when we watched the last match, and then Ricardo was playing for time, and Alex said that you're never gonna get 2 yellow cards for playing on time twice.
Yeah.
So either he planned this to like incept this idea into our heads that this will never happen, so that we get this wrong. Or he
was helping.
Yeah.
I do take winning this quiz very seriously, so maybe.
I can't take all the pressure this time.
Nah.
What was the first one again?
He kicked the ball against the referee.
Right, you're not going to get sent off for that because that just can happen, right? Oh, unless it was like
it can happen.
out of play.
Well, Fabregas got a yellow card for it, but I think he kicked it against another player rather than the referee, though.
Okay, so that's a possible.
I feel like the most likely one is that he wrestled someone to the ground who's on the pitch.
I don't think you would get sent off for that because I think
depends.
I saw it in a rugby match once, and the person who ran on just got rugby tackled by one of the players. So I think that would have been much of a shock. But
okay, then what's your answer then, Rob? What do you want to go with?
A. I think we go with A.
Okay.
Kicking the ball against the referee?
Yeah.
I can tell you that you were wrong again.
Oh.
The answer was C. He wrestled a mankini-clad pitch invader to the ground.
Well.
Guys, you're letting me down.
So you're 0 from 2. After the game, Vickers said, "I'm dumbfounded and speechless. I thought I was doing them a favour. The referee lost the game after that, and he knew he had made a great error." I mean, I feel like he was doing them a favour, right? He was trying to get the game going again.
To be honest, context matters in this case, I guess. Like, it depends on how you wrestle someone to the ground. If you do it like Deco in the last match we watched, then that's a bit too much.
That'd be a bit extreme. Alright, 0 from 2. Question number 3. In 2006, Javier Mascherano was sent off for Argentina after kicking whom or what? A. Leo Messi. B, a stray dog on the pitch, C, a water boy, or D, the driver of the motorized stretcher?
Wait, who was it again?
Mascherano.
Wasn't there like a stray dog on the pitch once with him?
I've seen. Could be.
Intuitively, that's how I feel, but I don't have a very strong.
That's my gut
memory.
That's my gut feeling as well.
Recollection about this. Rob.
Yeah.
Are we gonna go roll with it? Okay, it's the dog.
I don't know what's happened to you guys this week.
Oh,
for 3.
Oh.
The correct answer is the driver of the motorized stretcher.
That's rough.
Why would you do this?
Because I think the driver was driving too fast, and the Mascherano was like, "I'm going to fall off the stretcher," so he just kicked the driver, and then he got sent off. Question number 4. In 2011, in the 5th tier of Argentinian football, Claypole and Victoriana Arenas have the world record for the most number of red cards. How many red cards did the referee give on that game?
Oh, red cards, okay.
How many red cards? There is a rule about games being forfeit?
Yeah, exactly.
Is it 4?
4 of each team, or 3 of each team.
Maybe the game was forfeited. We don't know that, do we?
Yeah, that's true.
So going to the max.
It could have been to the max, right?
I don't even know whether it's the same like everywhere locally also.
Yeah.
Let's go with 8.
8? No.
To the nearest. Wait, if he's gonna give us points for the nearest 5.
Imagine they get in a fight, you know? There's like
like a mass brawl, and
and everyone just gets a free lunge at someone.
Okay.
Also, if Alex is giving us to like the nearest 5, then it must be a lot, because
maybe, or he's trying to throw us off.
I mean, we had 4 in the match. We just watched, and this was not like. I think there's still room for more red cards easily.
Okay, should we go with 8?
Or 7. 7 or 8.
I like 7.
7.
But if we go 7 to the nearest 5, then we're going down to like 2.
We're going with 7.
7. Okay.
We're second.
If I were you, I would rethink that answer.
Right. That's wrong. So you said to the nearest 5.
Yeah.
How many red cards were awarded in that game?
Mm-hmm.
I remember subs. Okay, I feel like
to the nearest
it must be a lot.
We're not going to fall into this trap again.
Again, we're playing safe.
Let's go with a high number.
Okay.
Don't say 0.
0 red cards.
Yeah, nearest 5, huh? 13?
13. I feel good about 13.
I feel like it's too low.
I'm gonna have to ask.
So then we say 15.
15 is our answer.
So the correct answer is 36.
How does that work? How does that work?
Everyone and their mother got a red
Was
card.
it like the coach get a red card as well? That must be.
So all 22 players on the pitch and a combination of 14 subs and coaches received red cards for a total of 36. This is the most red cards ever issued in a senior level football match.
What had happened?
But that's because there can't be any more given, right?
There's just a brawl.
Right.
Everyone in. That's just ridiculous.
Wow.
Okay, so you're 0 from 4. So I have 1 again this week, but you can salvage a little bit of pride.
How?
I mean, you can't really.
For what?
Okay. Question number 5. In Sweden, defender Linden Lundqvist, playing in a game between Jana Esko's reserves and Pershagen Esko, was shown a second yellow card for what? A. Nipple twisting an opponent at a corner. B. Pulling down his shorts celebrating a goal. C. Farting on the pitch. Or D. Telling the referee he smelled bad.
I'm going to be pleased with any of those.
Those are all funny.
I think either A or B though.
Maybe he's got like an underwear sponsorship. And that's why he's trying to get his shorts down. Yeah. I doubt it. In that
would be very cocky. I think I'm gonna go. I'd go with A though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nipple twist.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I really wanted to be A.
Is A your final answer?
No, but wait. But
I'm leaning towards
farted on the pitch sounds like the most ridiculous.
No, you wouldn't get.
What? How are you gonna get punished for farting on the pitch?
I don't know. Maybe that's what we're gonna get told. I don't know.
No, not the farting thing.
Okay, we're sticking with A.
A or B, guys? You decide.
I think it's likely to be B.
Go.
But
B.
I don't. Yeah.
Nah, B it is then.
It's really weird.
Okay, B, pulling down his shorts, celebrating a goal.
Yeah, that's funny.
I can tell you is incorrect. The correct answer is C, farting on the pitch.
No way. What weird referee. Just let
How
it go.
are you located?
You're outside.
How do you know that it's this particular person that farted? Oh, because he was taking the corner kick?
No, he was farting, but Lyndon said after the game, it was a strange decision. I can hardly believe it myself. I had a bad stomach, and then the last minute of the match I farted. Then the referee came over and gave me a yellow card, then a red card.
That's pretty harsh.
Absolutely love it.
So yeah, he was sent off for having a bad stomach. So now, okay, 0 from 5. Question number 6.
Oh, good. It carries on.
The pain continues.
Yeah, how many questions are there?
The 7.
Ah. Okay.
Question number 6. In a Rwandan Premier League game between Mukara Victory and Rayon Sport, Victory striker Musa Kamara had just missed a sitter. He proceeded to do what, to which resulted in a yellow card? A. Hang on the goalpost and bend it. B. Tear the net and eat it. C. Pick up the goalkeeper's water bottle and throw it into the stands. Or D. Placing an object on the goal and reciting a spell.
Whoa.
Eating the net.
Yeah, I think it's eating the net.
Okay.
I don't know. But no, wait. Can you repeat the last one again?
Placing an object on the goal and reciting a spell.
Yes, you do. What was the first one again?
Hang on the goalpost and bend it.
I think a spell would also be pretty funny.
Yeah, last two.
I feel like we didn't go with the most outrageous ones last time. So
yeah, okay. Yeah.
I feel eating the net and reciting a spell are good shouts. Should we go for the spell? I'd go for the spell.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
Spell it is. I can tell you that you have your first correct answer. You place an object on the goal and recited a spell in witchcraft. So the goalkeeper was absolutely furious, and the number 9 was then booked by the referee. Yet moments later, he headed it home an equaliser. So the witchcraft had actually worked out for him.
Nice.
Need to see this used more.
Need more witchcraft. Okay, question number 7 and the last one. In 1999, whilst playing for Manchester City, Kevin Horlock was sent off for aggressively doing what? A. Shouting at a ball boy to hurry up. B. Eating on the pitch. C. Walking too aggressively for the referee's liking. Or D. Spitting repeatedly during a corner.
Okay. Nothing comes to mind. It's like I haven't heard of it before.
No. Spitting, and then what was it?
I don't think it was C. Was what was C again?
Walking.
Yeah, it can't be that. Surely.
Would be weird.
Wait,
that's really weird.
For walking
too aggressively for the referee's liking.
Yeah. I feel like that's the weirdest one. I think we should go for that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I like your way of thinking.
I mean, you've got nothing to lose.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
I just want to will it into truth.
Okay. Can you describe how you would walk aggressively enough?
I think I could, right?
No. Yeah. I just want Corbin to go. How describe his walk?
Very stompy. I don't know. Lots of veins in his face from the aggression. I don't know.
I can only picture this walking towards somebody, right?
Yeah.
In a very aggressive manner. And then
or maybe towards the ref and trying to harass the ref by in some way.
I can see that playing out actually. Yeah.
See, it helped. At least in our minds, we can see it now. Alex, you have to tell us whether that's actually what happened.
Yeah. So
you're going for the walking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you that you have doubled your correct answers.
Wow.
So you got the last 2 correct. So it was walking too aggressively. So after the game, he said, I walked fairly quickly to him, maybe. I've got one leg shorter than the other that maybe makes it look like I was being a bit aggressive. I probably had a skinhead at the time, but I certainly wasn't aggressive. I was just going to go and ask him about a foul previously. It's funny now, but it wasn't at the time when I missed a few games because of it.
Yeah.
So no walking too aggressively for the referees. Like.
Yeah, especially if you have a short leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that brings our quiz to a close this week. You got 2 from 5. 2 from
7.
2 from 7.
Oh, 2 from 5. That's fine.
Yeah, let's cut out 2 of these questions.
You have 2 from 7. So yeah, not the best performance this week.
No.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So after
good questions. I have to say I like the questions. They were very intriguing.
All right, thank you.
Most
I put a lot of time into them.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
All right, that's it for the quiz this week, and now we're going to move forward to discussing the game. So welcome back to the show. In my research for this game, I came across a few interesting phrases which were used to sort of sum up the mayhem which this game included. So I can read a couple of them out. So the first one came from a Guardian match report, which stated, "It was a night when a lot of people forgot a lot of things, not least how to behave, but also that the logo of this tournament is time to make friends."
No.
So it's sort of not really in keeping with the theme of the tournament was the game, the sort of brutality.
But who was it at the end who sat right next to Deco? Both of them being sent off. Was it
Van Bronckhorst?
Bronckhorst, right?
Yeah.
I felt they looked like friends, to be honest.
Yeah.
I felt like they were united by the rage against the referee.
Yeah, which I kind of don't really get. Well, I think it's quite interesting if we try and discuss this game, because I do remember at the time and afterwards the referee getting so much flack for how he behaved. It's like this sort of this image sort of comes into people's mind of sort of the overly strict sort of teacher referee who just wanted to get his cards out and just show that he was in charge rather than letting the game flow. But I mean, I don't know what he was supposed to do.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves, right? Let's first underline this picture by more quotes, I guess.
During the game, Vigo was kind of lucky to avoid being sent off for headbutting Belarus. But after the game, Scolari said, "Jesus Christ may be able to turn the other cheek, but Luis Figo isn't Jesus Christ."
Yes. That's a great
So it's kind of odd also, this game the teams didn't really have that much of a rivalry or sort of a set that this was coming, this brutality was coming. Like, they hadn't really built up, there wasn't sort of tensions built up between the teams beforehand, they played at Euro 2004, but there'd been kind of no signs of the flashpoints which was to come. The Netherlands had been drawn in the group of death before this and had come second behind Argentina and knocked out Ivory Coast and Serbia and Montenegro, whereas Portugal had not been quite as convincing as the Netherlands had. So they'd gone through ahead of Iran and Angola. They finished top of their group with Mexico finishing second. So the action starts, and it's within 2 minutes you have the first flashpoint, right? The first yellow card is out for the foul by Van Bommel on Ronaldo, and it is it sets the tone that they're going to target Ronaldo as much as possible, right?
Yeah, definitely. They were after him. But in general, the start of the match, it was very dynamic, right?
Yeah.
Netherlands were going for it. The ball went up and down the pitch. So it was a good watch, especially the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But it also, started the scenery for what would later unravel. Minute, Khalid Boularus goes after Ronaldo again.
And
this time with
into his thigh.
And he does this roundhouse kick.
Right,
and then smashes his feet into the thighs of Ronaldo.
Yeah,
it's really the finisher, right? He never really returns back after that.
Ronaldo? No, he does not.
His career.
That was the end to that one.
Ronaldo.
CR who?
Yeah, exactly. But it puts him out of this game, right? He goes off. I'm not sure in what minute he goes.
A couple of minutes later, but he gets substituted.
He's on for another 15.
But I think the first one, so Van Bommel's is sort of borderline whether it's a yellow card kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
And usually you would see maybe at the beginning of the match, you get away with that kind of a foul.
But we're still okay to give a yellow
still
card.
was okay to give a yellow for that one.
Yeah.
And then Boularus, the 7 minutes is brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And then Manish, so that's the first 2 yellow cards, and then Manish gets booked in the 20th minute, which is it's kind of a weak one, but
it's not a weak one. It was a dive from Bomber, right?
Yeah,
it shouldn't have been a yellow card.
No, that wasn't.
So that was like the first clear mistake by the referee, but still one which can happen from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. But then Manish scores like 2 minutes later after that, which is a really, really nice goal.
A beautiful piece of football. Yeah. Rob, you were most excited about. Do you want to?
I loved it. Yeah, everything about it. Really nice little bit of build up.
Yeah.
And then just that touch he takes from the last defender before he puts the shot in. Mm-hmm. Really, really nice.
Yeah. It goes out to the side to Deco first, right? And then he brings it in, and I think it's Pauletta who then manages to somehow, being surrounded by lots of Holland defenders, to lay it back to Manish, and then he just fire blasts us in.
Yeah, and it's right in the top corner, so it's like Van der Sar has no chance, because Van der Sar has a pretty decent game, right? He makes a couple really good saves.
Nice reaction ones and more lunging ones as well.
So then the next yellow card after half an hour is Castinia's getting this first one, and it's like a really late challenge, right? It's like he's not really. It's pretty poor, but then he's the one who gets the red card before half time, and it's so ridiculous. They're like, what is he like? You've already got a yellow card like 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah, and that one was it was a kind of brutal play, way too late. He charges in, and then it's kind of first yellow card, and then you take it back a little, enjoy your time on the pitch, but then like 1 minute in extra time. He somehow just jumps towards the ball and gets it.
Yeah, because his hand is like above his head, right? It's
genuinely puzzling to me how one would end up with your hand like there.
Because it's also near his foot, where it's near his leg. He's like,
because also we watched it, and then we sort of like the play plays on, and then the referee blows his whistle a couple seconds later, and it's like, oh, what's he blowing his whistle for? Because you can't really see it on the video, and then it goes back and you see the replay, and it's like, what? Sorry?
Yeah. Why? Why would you do this? It's so unnecessary.
Yeah. And then, and also at this point, because I think in the first half, the Netherlands have been probably the better team. Like, they look like they're more likely to create chances. Yeah. And especially, like, Robin is amazing in this match, I feel. He's, like, everywhere.
All his dribblings and stuff. Yeah, there were lots of little bits and pieces of some football magic there, right?
Yeah.
Like also from Figo, from Deco, from Robin, from Van Persie. Yeah. So it was a really, really good match to watch, I guess. Also from that regard. So it was not just physically people fighting it out and getting yellow cards, but also some aesthetically very pleasing plays, I guess.
Yeah, and also very kind of direct as well. Like there's a lot of sort of moving the ball forward a lot quicker and like less slow build-up play, especially from the Dutch. Yeah. So like they get it forward through the wings, and like Van Persie on the right and Robin on the left. Yeah. They mesh together quite well. So it also it's like half time. There's already been quite a few yellow cards. Portugal are down to 10 men. So you kind of think, okay, if you're watching this now, okay, Portugal are down to 10 men. They've got Netherlands at 45 minutes to at least level it and send it to extra time. But maybe most likely when you're a player up for 45 minutes at this high level, then you think you're going to go on and win the game. And then there's like the first 15 minutes of the second half. There's not too much into it. Like they're not really creating as much. And then you have another yellow card for Petit after 50 minutes.
Yeah. Which was this time though, it was kind of like a vanilla tactical foul, right? Yeah. Like in comparison to a lot of stuff that has happened before, this was kind of minor. It was maybe a yellow card that wasn't necessary to.
But also Van Bommel makes an absolute meal of it. Van Bommel is like, he looks, at least from this game, reasonably kind of limited footballer in like what he does. You know, we never see him. He sort of does the short passes and breaks up play, and like that's literally like what he's in there. Yeah. It's not exactly like the most sort of like stereotypical what you would imagine sort of Dutch footballer, or especially like midfielder, and how he views the game. But you know, he's got a very simple remit of shield the back four, be a nuisance, get the ball back, and also just like break up fouls and also play it short. But then he also when he does get some of like the payback against him, he's ready to make a meal of it and make sure that the other team get a yellow card. The teams are 11 on 10, and then Belarus is the one who gets the second yellow card to make it 10 on 10 after just after an hour.
True. That's when things really start to heat up, I guess, in terms of tempers flaring up between both teams, right?
Yeah, because this one is kind of a weird one, I guess, right? Yeah. It's like in the 63rd minute. I would say there could be the benefit of the doubt, because I feel like Belarus, he touches or his elbow goes towards Figo's face. I don't know whether it actually touches
Figo goes down.
Really. Yeah, because Figo also is lucky to avoid being sent off for the kind of almost headbutt, which he just gets a yellow
which just happened before, exactly. We forgot about that one. Yeah.
There's also I can't remember, in the 42nd minute, there's almost like a kung fu kick on Robin in the in the box. I would say it would have been a penalty, but I didn't even get a foul, if I remember.
It was after the whistle was blown, wasn't it?
Kite has been penalised for a foul on the defender in the box, and then the ball sort of bounces in the middle, and Robin goes for it, and then the defender... I can't remember which defender.
I can't remember who it was. But you just see the boot right by his head.
Kung Fu smashes him, and then Robin is sort of sitting on the ground, sort of almost dazed. What has just happened? It's do I not at least get a penalty? But no, obviously, the whistle's gone for the foul against Coit.
I guess the point we're trying to make here is that there were a lot of
it was really hard to
action going on, and so it was hard to keep up with it. Yeah,
and didn't Costinha also? There was one in the 39th minute where the ref just wasn't looking. He could have been sent off for a second yellow before he did the handball. So the ref just completely misses.
Well, I think also with the Figo yellow card, the referee doesn't really see it, so that's why he just gives him a yellow.
Yeah,
so he's just okay.
Yeah, it would have been a clear red.
Yeah, for sure. Because at least up to maybe an hour or just 65 minutes, the game has had a bit of shape, or has looked like a proper football match. But from 65 to 90, it is just
chaos.
Yeah, it's really hard even to keep account of so who's playing who, where is what's the position, or how many players are on each team.
Yeah.
What position is each player playing? It's just a mess of foul every 2 minutes, or somebody will get a foul, or and then the Portugal player will sort of stay down for a couple of minutes and try to wind down the clock, or get another player send off and stuff.
Yeah, and I think, as Rob wanted to point out, right, this started with this 73rd minute with Deco.
Well, you had this the unwritten rule of returning the ball after the drop ball.
Yeah,
I think that was a real turning point in terms of the level of chaos in the game.
Yeah, because there was an interception, and Holland was supposed, at least from football etiquette, to give the ball back to Portugal, but then they don't do this, and Deco addresses this kind of misconduct with a stunning foul where he just comes steaming in,
some street justice,
and kicks down Heitinga. Which is ridiculous. And after this,
it is my favourite yellow card of the match. I think,
definitely. And after this, there are 5 minutes where foul after foul happens and the match escalates, and there are 5 more yellow cards that are given within this time frame. And one of these means actually that Deco is sent off with his second yellow card, and this is also the period that I meant with a wild frenzy.
Yeah.
There's too many. Ricardo gets a yellow card for time wasting. Yeah. The goalkeeper. There's just everyone jumping in and stuff, and then so now Van der Vaart gets a yellow card as well, and it's just so you're left with the Netherlands being 10 and Portugal having 9 players on the pitch.
And at this point, it was interesting because also the commentators were now siding against the referee, and they were arguing that he lost control over the match. He should have handled this differently. But to be honest, from my perspective, I don't see how this all can be blamed on the referee, to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, the referee must have played a role somehow in it, right? Because you don't see this kind of thing happening very often or ever in another sort of high-level competitive match. So, I mean, I was just kind of thinking, right, what could you have done to try and avoid it? And you do see sometimes in these big games that referee will kind of let more things go than usual just to sort of keep a flow or some kind of thing.
But I mean, remember, we saw Cristiano Ronaldo
that's the thing. Being kicked off the game. And so at one point, as a referee, you have to decide that we take the healthiness of the players above keeping the cards in your pocket, I guess, right?
But I don't remember if we ever saw him kind of call over the captains and ask them to like
Yeah.
calm things down. That could have been something, I guess. Like you can see that happening with refs. They kind of bring them over and go like, all right, your team's being a bit too rough. Like you better watch out, or I'm gonna have to give you yellow cards. And that kind of attitude may have helped, but
No, I agree
it may
with
have
this
happened
one.
off screen. It you may have done it, but we just didn't see a very obvious moment of it.
Yeah, better communication, definitely.
Yeah.
What do you think of some responsibility is on the coaches, right? Because I think it was pretty clear that Netherlands had this strategy from the start of the game to target Ronaldo.
Yeah,
Fake him out.
Yeah. So,
And I mean, it worked. So
yeah.
Yeah.
In a sense, but yeah, it's not the kind of football I like.
yeah,
So much.
I mean, Scolari was very, very upset about the Ronaldo thing, and then from that point was very, very upset about the referee, and
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Oh,
the tactics of the
but do you guys remember? I think it was with Corbyn when we talked about the limits of what is okay within the rules of football to actually make your team win. And I think at the end we kind of drew the line at when some player actually might get hurt.
Yeah,
or something,
sort of
then that's
violence and stuff.
then that's something that you should not use in order to get an advantage.
Yeah.
I think this was the case with the Ronaldo incident, right?
Yeah.
It was just way too much.
Yeah. It was violent conduct, basically. Like, it goes beyond tactical fouls to break up play and just like, let's hurt him. Yeah, it's not nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess then this leaves us with the 95th minute with Van Bronckhorst, who
Yeah.
then gets the last yellow card of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a yellow card. So he just trips up another player.
Yeah.
As he's trying to dribble out, and also like frustrated that they're about to lose the game.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it was so entertaining, was it not?
Yeah, I liked the time wasting. I also liked when they were trying to sub Figo and decided to change who they're going to sub him for. So he does the whole taking the
Take it
armband
off,
off,
and then
giving it to someone else, like taking like 3 minutes just to do all that, and then turns out he's not being subbed. It's like, that's like a lovely chunk of time, and they sub him again, like actually for someone else in like 2 minutes after that.
Yeah.
But that was a good a bit of tactics, I'd say. I'm not sure if they're doing it on purpose. They really seemed like they were changing their mind, like, no, stay on the pitch, stay on the pitch.
I think the Portuguese team were quite clever about time wasting.
But to return to the discussion that we had earlier, you think this would be okay? This would be kind of time wasting to this degree, right? It was not just a player lying on the ground, but it was like, okay, we substitute you, and then you are kind of off the pitch, and then no, sorry, not go back, and this was took off like 5 minutes off the clock.
I think that's when the referee's responsibility steps in, just to make sure that if you have to add 8-10 minutes on the end of a half, if that's what's happening, then they just have to do that. But obviously, usually you just see them go with like 5 or 6, even if it should be much longer for time wasting, because the ball can be out of play for a long time in some of these like high tension matches.
There was a period, I think, from like maybe 79 to like 84 where the ball was literally like not. I think Ricardo Dirk Kuyt got played clean through, and he fluffed the chance and sort of got a little bit of a kick on Ricardo.
Yeah.
And then Ricardo did spend about 3 or 4 minutes on the ground.
Yeah.
I think he was the main sort of Portuguese culprit or main instigator of their sort of the time wasting.
Yeah, because we had the comparison once in our podcast with Wembley, right? Where you could see that it was more of a purist idea of football, where you keep playing, right? No matter what happens, you just back on the pitch, you do the throw-ins really quickly, and all of this. And when you compare it to the football that is played more recently, there's a shift in the way these kind of things are played out. Right?
Yeah, you should listen to that podcast just to know for sure what we're discussing. But there was a bit in the 1966 World Cup final where in the 90th minute the English player plays it back to the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper takes like 3 bounces, right? It's like 5 or 6 seconds, and then you hear the crowd booing. They're like, "This isn't football.
This is too much." The audacity.
Yeah, the audacity of this gentleman. Okay, so the game ends with Portugal sneaking through, and then after the game, obviously the referee got a lot of criticism, and then our old friend Sepp Blatter had this to say.
This was a lovely quote. I was so hoping you'd bring it up.
It's just, I mean, in some ways you're glad Sepp Blatter is not in football for his terrible corruption and sort of what he did to the game, but then also you do miss the beautiful quotes that he has. So he had to say, "I consider the referee was not at the same level as the participants, the players. I think there could have been a yellow card for the referee. This was a game of emotion with exceptional drama in the last instant with a deserved winner. But it was a great show with intervention by the referee that was not consistent and had a lack of fair play by some players. So after these criticism of the referee, Sepp Blatter got criticism of his comments. So he tried to walk them back a couple of days later.
He backpedaled.
So he said, I would just like to say that I regret what has happened. I regret what was said about the referee's actions in the match between Portugal and Netherlands. But then the referee he was sent home from the tournament. He didn't referee again in the...
That's right.
No, he never did. But also because I think he got too old to actually be an official FIFA referee after that one. So it was...
In between the last 16 and the quarterfinals.
No, but after the tournament. That's what I mean. That's why he never returned.
What a way to go out, though. That's like what a way to go out. As if
but that's what I thought, because he knew this would be his last tournament. So maybe he was like, I want to enter the football annals, right? One time in the spotlight, Had he just done this like everyone else would have?
The even off last 16 game.
Exactly. Now we do remember his name.
And we watched it.
Which is Valentin Ivanov. I don't know whether we reset this on the
No, we haven't, but the Russian.
Here we go. Valentin Ivanov. This goes out to you.
This moment in the sun. So and then this was not the end also of the bad temper in this tournament, because also after the penalty shootout between Argentina and Germany in the quarters, there was a big brawl, and then also famously in the final you have Zidane's headbutt against Materazzi.
Yeah.
So that maybe he was trying to, we were saying that he was trying to do a better example of the Figo headbutt from this game.
Yeah, that's what we thought. No, it's true. It's like an unprecedented number of cards were given during this tournament.
But then also it was remembered as a lot better sort of quality tournament, as in like 2006 World Cup is I think remembered quite fondly as being quite attacking and open, and I think we definitely saw that from this game.
Although it was a low goal per match count in the tournament. Yeah, it was quite low.
Because people always complain about the 2010 World Cup, like the South Africa one, that it was pretty poor quality. Also the balls fall so.
Yeah, that's true though. My perspective is kind of tilted, it's biased, because Germany was actually, they were playing like super beautiful football at their World Cup. Winning like with a large margin and stuff most of the matches, so that was nice. But in general, agreed. Any last words, guys?
I don't know. Do you guys think that the Netherlands could have done, or what do you think they should have done in order to?
I think they should have brought on Van Nistelrooy.
Yeah, the commentators mentioned him quite a lot, and we just
like
saw...
literally from the 5th minute though. They're like,
why is he not on the pitch?
Yeah, bring on Van Nistelrooy.
The only thing we saw was when he hugged someone who got sent off. It was a nice little embrace, and that's the closest he came to action on the pitch, I think.
Yeah, because at the end they were just pumping it long up to Van Henegor of Hesselink, who was he was winning the knockdowns, but it was like, you're against 9 men, so I feel like if you just sort of played it a bit more strategically, then you would find the space to
or bring in Van Nistelrooy, because that's what he's good at, right?
I think he would have scored the kite chance. He probably would have done better.
Might be. Yeah,
that's true.
But you were saying there was talk of a disagreement between Van Nistelrooy.
Well, I think so. After the group stage, Van Basten was critical in the press of Van Nistelrooy's performance in the group games because he'd been starting, and then I think he hadn't spoken to Van Nistelrooy in person about these comments, but he'd spoken to the press, and apparently they had a conversation afterwards where things may have got a bit heated, so that's why Van Nistelrooy got stuck to the bench. But I mean, it wouldn't be a Dutch tournament without some infighting, right? So I think that's everything we want to cover with this game. Any sort of final words on the Battle of Nuremberg, Leon?
No, I loved the quiz today. That was fantastic, and the match also. If you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it.
Yeah, or at least watch the highlights.
Yeah, watch the highlights, but also like the beautiful moments in between, right? Not just the cards, also the magic.
I feel like if you're just watching the cards, that's taking you beyond highlights, and that's basically just watching the whole match, isn't it?
High case in points.
How do you fit them all in? Yeah. But thanks again for joining us, Colbin and Rob.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was very good. Good game.
All right, and remember to like and subscribe to the podcast, or follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and we'll join you again soon.
Bye bye.
See you soon.